Yeah, I really wish they would show porn at the IMAX, just so they could advertise by saying, come climax at IMAX, right? So, I'm really afraid of going to prison. I feel like prison would be a scary place to be, you know? Because the prison rates would undoubtedly be the worst part, you know? But I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, you know, it might be a little bit presumptuous of me to assume that I would be raped in prison. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I wouldn't be raped. I feel like it's kind of egotistical of me to think that I'm good enough for that, right? You know, like, with my luck, my romantic life would be as terrible in prison as it is out of prison, and I would get there, and at first I'd be psyched. I'd be like, sweet, no one's raping me, you know? But after a few months, I'd be like, hey, you know, how come no one's raping me? It's, you know, it boosts my confidence a little bit for a few guys that go after me on the laundry or something, like Shawshank Redemption style. It's not about getting raped. That's not what I want. It's just nice to know you're wanted, you know? So it just boosts your confidence a little. So I think it'd be fun. Yeah. I also, another weird thing about me is I kind of have trouble enjoying a hand job. And here's why. Some people think that's weird. Most of you probably think it's weird, hence the silence. But, you know, here's why. I love a blowjob because I can't do that for myself. Right? Like, I can't. It's a flexibility problem. It's not happening. I also love vaginas because I don't have one. There's none lying around my house. They're not available to me. But whenever a girl's giving me a hand job, she's performing an act that I spent years perfecting. And she's generally fucking it up pretty bad. You know what I mean? I'm an expert, and so all I can think of are tips to make her better at what she's doing, but I can't start saying those because they're not sexy, and then it just turns into me teaching a seminar on how to jerk me off, and that's even less sexy, you know? It's like, alright girl, come on, just tighten the grip by like 2 or 3 PSI, atmospheres, if she's European, we'll use atmospheres, and just up the match pace with me, right here, alright? And we're gonna go double time right now. Not sexy, doesn't work. And some women like to spice things up in the bedroom, and they try to bring toys into the bedroom, and those kind of intimidate me. I'm not a big fan. You know what I mean? Like, ladies, in my opinion, it's not a dildo, it's a dildo-don't. Just keep it away. Nobody wants it. I got sex on the mind a lot, you know, 19-year-old guy, and it's funny because it's okay. Like, people are just fine with you being a 19-year-old guy who thinks about sex a lot. Like, if I had that level of obsession with anything else, it would be really weird, you know? Like, imagine if from the age of, like, 12 and onward, the only thing I ever really cared about in life, it was, like, cake, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, what I wouldn't give for a piece of cake, right? Like, I'm asking all my friends who had cake, I'm like, man, what's cake like? They're like, oh, it's better than you could imagine. You gotta eat some vanilla, chocolate, yellow, doesn't matter. Get some, put it in you, it's delicious, right? You're like, you know, you try to bake your own cake, but it's never as good, you know, and it can't be because you don't have any eggs. And so, right? You stay up late watching Food Network, just hoping the shows with cake in it are gonna go on, you know. You're trying to find somebody who'll give you some cake, and you need a few girls, and they're like, I want my first cake to be wedding cake. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm looking to eat the cake right away.
So good.
You know? You live this sad existence for several years, but finally somebody's like, hey, you want some cake, right? Maybe it's different. Maybe, like, you know, they're drunk at a party, like, does anybody want more cake? Anybody? It's got a couple bites out of it, but it's here. You're like, yes, give me 1 second. I've got a fork in my wallet that I hope is not expired. You get that fork out, and you're like, cake, oh yeah. And then before you know it, there's frosting everywhere. It's just not. I love the offended, that's not fun. Yeah, you know, for most people, the favorite part about sex is the climax, but not for me. For me, it's the satisfaction I get from knowing that I did it all by myself. That's really where it's at for me. Yeah. So I remember when I was younger, right when I was around like 12 or 13, I first started watching porn. Like, I had a kind of an odd relationship with vaginas. Like, I didn't really, like, I was pretty sure it would feel good to put my penis in one, but I didn't want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like this weird, I don't not literally, that would be odd. And another thing I was kind of uncomfortable with was semen, right? The idea of anything other than urine coming out of my penis just fucking blew my mind. Are you serious? There's other things that are going to come out of that? Like, it was crazy, you know? And I didn't know anything about it until like 5th grade health class when they told me, you know, because my entire knowledge of sex prior to that came from movies, right? And you know, you never see in like a sex scene like a James Bond movie, like Sean Connery never, you know, like pulls out, busts a nut everywhere, and cleans it up with some Bond gadget, the cute gadget. Alright guys, that is all my jokes for this evening. Hope you enjoyed it.